Well, this is one of many models. We have a library of these things, and depending on how the wind blows, what's current, like where you want to go with it. This was me. This spoke to me, and I wanted to run this, so I did this. I helped others run this, and the results have been pretty awesome.
Hey, welcome to What's Working in Real Estate, where Donny Mangos and Ken Yim get together and talk about what's working for our big teams in real estate at our brokerage, Keller Williams Referred Urban Realty. Thanks for joining.
All right, so Ken and I are two of the leaders at our office, Keller Williams Referred Urban Realty, and I'm the team lead. Ken is our broker of record, and there are a few hundred agents that work in our office, and so we're a pretty active office, we're pretty active realtors, we're pretty active in the community, and we just want to share some knowledge, share some tidbits, the things that we're noticing in the business. We have witnessed a lot, by the way, in the last 6, 8 months, 10 months with these interest rate hikes, Ken, and we just want to give people some tools and some tips to help them get through and thrive for the next little while. So,
all right, sounds good.
So we have access to many models, we have access to many tools, and we have experience, and we want to share that stuff. So, in the act of just giving, it is Christmas time when we're recording this. In the act of just giving things away, we just want to start by giving things away. So Ken, can I just get a recap as to what's going on in your world, what you're seeing for the last few months, real estate? Because we keep getting asked this question. What's your answer, Ken? How's the market?
Depends what you're doing. You're looking to buy, sell, invest? No, joking. That's the standard Canada answer. But I really encourage agents to actually really ask their clients what their situation is and what they're looking for. They're just getting the conversation however you get in that conversation. Whether it's how's the market? Well, it depends. Obviously, we all know that volume has dropped by 50%, plus or minus. Prices are coming down a little bit. So there's opportunity in the market. Just really depends on which side you're looking at. So, Donny, can I ask you?
Fair.
Right? And you start asking questions, start getting into that way.
You know what? Of course, we had Ken and I have a chat all the time. It's situational. If you're getting married or you're getting unmarried, how's that one? Unmarried. If you're life changes, these things happen, and you need more space, you need less space, whatever. There are reasons in your life that you need that require you moving, and it's got nothing to do with interest rates or markets. And those kind of people, it's a big city we live in. We need to help a lot of those. They need guidance along that journey. So, is the market slower? Yeah, there's fewer transactions. Is the market dead? Of course it's not dead. People are moving. People are still.
It won't go to zero at the end of the day. Yeah, it won't go to zero.
Yeah, it won't go to zero. There's zero chance of that happening. So, and to answer your question, I agree. It answers it depends, which is it's a soft answer, but it does depend, and that's what we're doing here. We're gonna try and focus on helping people that need to be helped.
Sorry, Donny. I was about to say, so how do you get some people to get motivated and out of their mindset of that negativity where things just stop?
Stop making it about yourself. Stop making it about yourself. It's not about you. It's about your client. And so, we live this. They don't. They don't the way that an interest rate hike makes you feel is not the same way that it makes them feel. They're brand new to the market. They haven't thought about this. They haven't been watching the market, anticipating the interest rate hikes. They're not us. They're not as immersed in this environment as we are. So don't lead with that with your clients. Hear them out, start listening, and start helping them get to where they got to be. And it's got nothing to do with interest rates and markets. You can just coach on how that affects them, but stop being so. Don't be the victim in all of this.
But, for some agents, it's very real, right? Not being able to pay their bills and all that kind of stuff.
Agreed.
How do you answer them? Yeah.
You know what? The truth is there's too many realtors, right? We have this talk often. There are 70,000-ish realtors in Toronto. Honestly, it's too many to service the amount of transactions that we have in our city. And
assuming 100,000 transactions, that's, two ends, right? 200,000 transactions divided by 70,000. That's about, 4 per agent on average. And 4 per agent is not enough to survive. It's better to just get a job somewhere if that's the case.
Yeah, but less than half of those agents that are on Treb are doing 0 deals. Right? So
just giving people
what's
context.
The point? You know what's going to happen right now? So end of December, ta-da! Your Treb fees are due. That was a nice one. It's kind of $1,280 or whatever for the 3 Korea, Rico Treb fees altogether. That's a lot of money, and I think what we're going to see, and it's justifiably so. You're going to see a reduction in the number of agents that are licensed come January.
Yeah.
And look, we operate in a business that's very low barriers to entry. It's easy to get in. You got to do a few courses, and off you go, and you're licensed to sell real estate and make mega money. And then the number of commission dollars is directly related to the number of agents involved in any market. So the number of commission dollars is down 50%. You said November to November. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
pretty
then
much. Plus
there's going to be. It's always a lagging thing. Like the number of agents is going to drop when they start realizing there is no real prospect of making this a sustainable career. So if that's you, not you, Ken, but if it's you, the listener, or the watcher, it's hard to accept. I get it. If you haven't built a business that you've learned how to fish in, as opposed to just been given the fish by a lead providing service or whatever that has dried up, and if you haven't created that system through the years of being the person that your clients think of when it comes to transacting in real estate or making a move, it's going to be tough for you. I'm not going to lie. And you either got to decide right now if you're going to go that way into building that business, like becoming the economist of choice with your clients, or you're going to bail. There's no shame in either one, but just decide what you're going to do rather than just coast and keep giving our Treb your money and your brokerage your money for nothing, really. So the classic, poop or get off the pot.
So the top producers will still be top producers. In fact, they'll probably gain more market share just by staying where they're at and doing the same number of transactions they did in the past, because the number of transactions will shrink. That means by nature of it, it just kind of goes the other way and kind of means they're taking off, right? And when it comes back, it's going to be even more. So you and I still transact, and I think we got some great strategies for people that are kind of stuck in the whole mindset right now of, shoot, the market's dropping, the prices are dropping, what do we do? So Donny's got some great tips on what we're talking about. So let's get
we're going to go through models over different versions of the podcast. This one today we're going to talk about is called the Reverse Bold 100. It's a play on Bold 100, which is a KW program where you go into Bold. Ken, you've done Bold a couple times?
Yep.
I've done a Bold, I think 3 times. Amazing course. It's actually coming back to Toronto, I believe in March or April, just so you know, Ken. Okay. So in that, it really is an inspiring course. It really is giving you tactical tips. How do you get through this? What do you say? How do you handle this objection? It's sales coaching, but it's so much more than that, and it's modern. In that program, they teach this thing called, or they reward participants who do this thing called the Bold 100. Bold 100 is, it's more American than it is us, really, but there's people in the class that always do this. It means you have to contact 100 people in one day. You have to talk to 100 people in one day. Not make 100 calls and then just leave 100 voicemails. It's actually have a chat with 100 people in one day. Some people do it by hanging out outside Home Depot. Some people do it by doing a dialer or whatever. Like, that's not my business. I don't know how they do it. For someone like me, probably someone like you too, Ken, that's never been my style. I don't know how to pick up a phone and call or knock on that many doors and talk to people at that level saying, hey, do you want to buy or sell real estate? Not for me. So
BOLD stands for, really quickly, sorry, Donny, buy objective, building business objective,
nice
business objective, life by design.
Yeah.
Life, yeah. So BOLD.
BOLD. So it's also like be bold, right? Like, because, Ken, fortune favors the bold. Remember that? It's true.
Yeah. Anyway, it's okay. So it's great for people that are just starting out. It's great for experienced people too. If you need that kick in the butt to kind of push yourself off the edge, and start making
hang on. I got to challenge you in that. I think it's far more important for those that have been in the business. More like we have a program for newer ones. It's called Ignite. It's a little bit. It assumes you have a less of a database, so you have a less of a contact list. Bold requires that you have. It expects that you have some business for sure. And it's building on it, so it's like mastery. Anyway, sorry to cut you off. But okay, the Bold 100, that is what that is. And I was never going to do that, but I still want to contact my database. And I was on a web stream. We were doing a watch party for, I think it was Mega Camp, KW Mega Camp, Ken, or was it Family Reunion?
Sure.
One of those two big events. Yeah. So I'm sitting in the office, and this guy on stage. His name is Zach, and he's talking about how he did a reverse Bold 100. So rather than find a way to call 100 people in one day, he found a way to have 100 people call him in one day. And that's
Wouldn't
the model.
That be awesome?
That's the model that I'm going to talk about in this podcast before Ken gets on his next time. So I believe you can share a screen. Ken?
I can. Let me do that right now.
Okay. for those that are watching this on the screen, you'll be able to see you don't really need to. I think it's important that you just hear what's going on. Fundamentally, if you want this form, just message us and we can send it off to you.
Okay.
But it's a one-pager. It's basically a roadmap to how to do this, how to get 100 people to call you in a day. Okay, so I actually executed on this. I didn't get 100, but I got closer to it because I followed this strategy. It starts with this. It starts with figuring out what can I offer of value in exchange for somebody giving me a phone call. So for me, this was leading up to Raptors opening season, our opening game, and I have tickets. And so I decided I'm going to give away my opening night tickets for the Raptors home opener. And in exchange, we've been living through 2.5 years of COVID, of being separated, of being just really distant from each other. And I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to invite contact through the phone in a very safe way. And I just said, look, guys, hey, it's your guy, Donny. I just want to say I miss you. I would love to hear your voice. And I want to even entice you I'm going to give you a reason to call me so that I can just hear your voice and say hi. If you call me on this day, between this time and this time, I'm going to enter your name into a draw for no other reason than you just called me on that day. And then in that draw that day, we'll be giving away tickets to the Raptors game for home opener. So that was the framework for what I was going to do. The actual model, Ken, if you will.
So that's number one, first of all, by the way, is all decide what you want to give away, right? So
Right.
It could be your sporting event, it could be concert tickets, back to school gift cards. So if you don't have seasons tickets, in other words, and you don't know how to buy them and you don't have them, there's other things you could do. Concert tickets, for example, just go buy a set of 2 concert tickets. What's not in here is that you could throw a party, right?
Yeah.
Especially a party that has RSVP or whatever. Back to school gift cards, any kind of gift cards for that matter.
Dinner at a restaurant that new, or a buddy of yours opened, something like that, and you can help a small business as well. Like something that you think will be valuable enough to your audience that they will want to stop what they're doing for 2 seconds and pick up the phone and call you.
Or even think about you. Even if they don't call you.
So Ken, what would you give away, for example? What would Ken Yim give away?
Because I'm not into sports or anything. I don't know anything about Raptors, and I've got some Raptors tickets, so thank you for whoever gave them to me. Maybe I'll give those out again. No, I'm joking. I won't. I'll actually go. No, but there's things like no, I'm not going to do that. Exactly what you said. Dinner for 2, right? With Uber rides, or like a nice, limo
Perfect.
or something, right? So that would be probably something I would do. It's just easy.
Pretty awesome. And if you sent me an email with that, Ken, I would probably respond to that. Honestly, I would say that sounds pretty cool. I would love to take my wife out for whatever. And if it's on Ken's dime, even better, right? So I would do that if I was in your database. So
And what's that going to cost? $200, $250, $300 maybe?
For sure, whatever. Even if it's $500, even if it's more than that.
Even if it's home
what
show tickets.
Yeah, like
Movie
something of
tickets.
value though, like something that they want to go to, something that you think their audience would relate with your audience.
Movie tickets.
Sure.
$12.
Sure.
$24.
Okay, because all you're asking for is a phone call, and they probably already have a cell phone plan. It's not costing them any more by the minute to call you, so it's a pretty good swap. So step two in this journey is start marketing. It's like, so now you got the idea, you know what you want to give away. Now you got to start talking about it and getting your audience aware of it. Okay, the only stipulation for me was you had to know me. So if you heard about it some other way, or if I posted on social media, it's going on with my friends. You have to know me. You have to have my phone number. Otherwise, you can't call me. So this is not going to be a blast out into Instagram space and anybody and everybody can participate. No, I'm not posting my phone number on this, but I'm clearly marketing to my audience. So social media, Instagram, Facebook. If you're not public, if you're private, then it's probably a lot easier for you. But if you are public, you definitely wouldn't blast your phone number on those platforms. I sent out emails using our KW command system that we have as our database within KW, and I set up a series of steps. So there was emails and there was automatic texts that went out. So I decided, I had a schedule on, I'm doing this in a week from now. So I'm sending an email today. I'm sending a text tomorrow morning. I'm sending an email the 2 days before the call, and I'm sending a text the morning of to remind them, hey, pick up the phone today and call me. So I would set these things up in advance when I went out to my database. So I created all the material, like everything I wanted to do to pass to get the message across. I built it in and push start. Okay. So for me, I had 9 to 3 on a Friday because that's when I wanted to limit my window. It's a hard day. I'm not gonna lie. It was a hard day when your phone's ringing nonstop. You are chatting all day. And I know it sounds like it's probably easy for guys like Ken and I. It's not. That's hard. That's a hard day.
Well, you think about it, right? It says bold 100. You're talking to 100 people in a day. Same thing, right? It's just they're calling you. I know it's logistically hard to answer the phones, and you have missed calls. You got to call them back. You get into conversations. You got to kind of cut the conversation short. I totally get it. So, Donny, let me ask you, how much time did you give for marketing?
Yeah, it was about a week. I think it was just over a week actually when I did it. But I know a friend of ours, Tasso, who's also did this, didn't give that much time at all. I think he gave like 3 days or so. And Aaliyah did it, I think, a couple weeks ago, and she just did literally. I think she waited a couple of days before she had the event, so it wasn't a lot of lead up. But it's not a lot of work. Like it's just an email. You're just sending a reminder. Hey, this is what's going on. So you don't need months for this. If you were going to get tickets or something, okay, maybe that's relevant, and maybe you pick something that's a bit more like current, so you don't have to wait to give away tickets that you don't have yet to an event that you think is going to be amazing in the future. You don't need much leeway for that, or much lead time for that. Yeah. Okay. So once you get your marketing moving on to step 3, that's the day. So like I had my phone ready. I had it plugged in. I had hardline AirPods because I didn't want my battery to die. I didn't want to go through all that. And I literally just sat there. I launched not Microsoft. What am I talking about? Jeez, Apple Notes. And I just had a calendar or an empty note thing where I put down everyone's name who called and in the order. So number 1 was this, and I would naturally talk about them, and they naturally ask about me and my job or my business or whatever. And it's your opportunity to talk about what you just been through, like what some amazing stories you might have helped a client through in real estate or whatever. And sometimes it's not about real estate. It's just about hearing their voice. Honestly, that's cool too. But you've had an opportunity to create a personal touch. So I just started logging all the calls. Sometimes, yeah, you're right. The calls that overlap. Like when 9 o'clock hit, I think my phone rang. The first person I got through, and there was 2 calls that I missed because I was on the phone with the first person right at 9 o'clock. And so I would just text them. I set up a text because after a while it got kind of redundant. She said, "I'm on the phone. I see you called. Please try me again." And that's all I did. And so people would call back. Now, would I record their name even if they didn't, actually get a hold of me? You know what? They attempted. Of course, you're getting a name into that thing. So I didn't have a whole team set up, and maybe you would, Ken, because you have Broadview Avenue Realty is it's a bigger team. Maybe you want to do a team reverse bold 100. I just did it on my own, so I didn't involve my team. It was very much a Donny thing in that case, and they had to call me, so I didn't have to staff anything for this. Which is
so if you got a team, you can, before we go to that, if it's still in number 3, if you have a team, you can use something like Follow Up Boss or any kind of CRM that knows who's calling. If it's attributed to you, if it's the contact for your team, it'll get routed to the right person, and that person will pick up the call from there that way, right? Or you can just actually have their call your agent or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could have one of those
multiple ways to do it.
Totally. If you have one of those lines where it rings in and it goes to the first person that's available, it could do it for you. The whole point is it's adaptable to what you need for your team.
It's hard to do a personal touch that way, right? If you haven't worked with that agent, right? But anyway,
if it's a team, whatever you want to do. My goal was to help myself connect with my sphere. If it's my team reaching out to my community for a different reason, that works too. I was using it very much as a hi. I want to say hi to you because I miss you. But that's my angle. That doesn't necessarily need to be your angle. Your angle could be.
So how'd you turn it to a conversation to real estate?
Ken, we started this meeting like this. Ken, how are you?
Good. How are you, man?
Good, man. So look, you're a father of 3. How's everything going, Lisa? Awesome. You good?
Oh, so good.
Amazing. Good. Yeah. So work's good.
Yeah, great. How are you?
See, you just invited real estate into this conversation.
That's right.
You and I just, whether or not you meant my family or real estate, if I wanted to in that moment, I could just flip it back and say, just that. It's been a difficult year. I guess it's been very different from what we typically expect. Doesn't matter. Like I still love what I do. Actually, I just finished helping this amazing family finally find a place. It took about 6 months, but they finally found a place. Lots of hurdles that they had in their life, and you're catching me at a good time. I feel really good about what I do right now because I help people like that. And it's a very different discussion than, oh my God, the market's crazy. That isn't very.
Oftentimes You can always say the market's it's a great time to upsize right now, right? Or like depends on the situation. Or you give them just true, honest advice. But oftentimes the person you're talking to will ask you about real estate. They'll be like, how's the market? Right? So I'm telling my team that anytime they say, how's the market in the conversation, that counts as an actual conversation you'd want to log as well too in our CRM.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So you turn the conversation to real estate. Then the last thing is to ask for a referral. What do you do to ask for a referral?
Okay. So in part of my, sorry, I skipped over that part, but part of my marketing, what I said to them was, there are no strings attached. I'm not asking you to do anything other than to call me and say hello as a friend, kind of thing. If you do want to increase the number of ballots in this draw, and you're going to ask me that, yes, you can get your husband to call or your wife to call or whatever the case is. And if you had a referral that you want to send to me that day, I'm going to add another 3 ballots under your name just for that. So if you want to go send me a referral, here's what I would need. Please let the person know that I'm contacting them. Give me their name and number and email, and you've got 3 more ballots and a significantly increased chance of going to the game. So I put that out there. I didn't get a lot of referrals, by the way, in the end, but I did get some, and it all came from just making that ask in a very soft way. It wasn't oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals kind of thing, but it was that. Maybe
you weren't asking the right way, though. I was about to say that.
Sure.
So, your name and phone number. They gave you a name and phone number and email. What would you do? You'd actually contact them and reach out to them? Hey, I got your name from so-and-so. And
yeah, the person has to know that we were going to call them. Yep.
Okay.
That's part of it.
And then you start talking real estate with them. How can we help you? Just wondering if there's a way we can help you. Right.
Exactly. We're busy today. I just wanted to talk to a lot of people that I know. Please let them know that I'll be contacting them on Monday.
And all right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Move to number 4. So number 4 is start the event and capture entry.
So back to that. So that's when I was saying I'm launching my notepad and I'm just starting to track. I'm ready to go and I'm starting to log who's calling in. Okay, so that's what I did. I really just old school. I just typed in the person's name. No automation of this. I just tracked it all. It wasn't people that I know, so it was easy for me. And I would track what we talked about. And there were things that I had to follow up with. That discussions were this. I've been meaning to talk to you about this. Amazing. Perfect. Look, you know what? Can I call you next week? I just have my phone's ringing and I want to make sure that I address a lot of people that are calling because I've asked for the invitation to call. I just want to make sure that I handle that. And then I want to give you a lot of focused attention on this. Can I schedule you for a time on Monday? And I had a few of those, Ken. So I don't want to talk about it right now. I don't want to go into too much detail. But I want to log the notes of what we talked about so that I can have the discussion with you after. This is lead generating.
So basically what you did was just set an appointment, right?
That's all I did.
So you set the appointment for Monday, and instead of actually taking the appointment right then and there, you set the appointment and you say, okay, I'm a little bit busy right now and I'd love to set up a Zoom call with you so I can actually do a screen share with you.
Yeah.
And you do it that way. So you set the appointment for Monday, and then that's great.
That's it.
Number 5, staff the phones and answer calls.
Yeah, so if I didn't have a team, it was just me. So there was no requirement for me to do it this way. And again, you may or may not, depending on you and the listener. This is the listener of this podcast. You're clearly a realtor, and if you have a team and you're operating that way, and your scale is larger, you might want to do a team thing, and you want to make sure that your staff's available and you've got everyone's schedule cleared. They're off in their own little section, so they're not overlapping or yelling through each other over the phone and stuff. So you're making sure that that's all sorted. I was just alone in this room, plugged in and hardwired headphones on, and I cleared my schedule. That was it.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can actually be a small business owner. You don't have to be a realtor, but it could be, anyway, we call it hour power. We do this every day between 10 and 11. So we make our calls then and kind of at least schedule it. Maybe for this day, we'd have more hours powers, and you have people on site in the office and answering calls and DMs. All right. So number 6, enter contact information to the CRM and follow up.
So we all use CRMs, I hope, and in those you can start doing the tasks or calendar entries and things like that. So this is where you thank them for calling. You can set up the automation that way as well, but you make sure that you set up your follow-up appointments. So Ken said set the appointment. Now you got to make sure that you've logged that so you can go on the appointment. And this is where your information is captured. It's always in your database so that you can see how you're tracking your appointments, the numbers. End of the year, are you hitting them or are you missing? What does next year look like as a result of what you did this year? Things like that. So, you have that CRM, put it to use, and this is something you could certainly plug into. for this reason.
And even if you don't have a CRM, you can use an Excel spreadsheet even for that matter. Like ideally it's not ideal. That's not ideal, but if you did that, then at least for this contest, you'd be able to track the follow-ups that you have for the next day.
Like it's really
cool.
There's no other than an initial investment of buying what you're going to give away. This is an amazing return on investment. So my challenge to Ken Yim and Broadview Avenue Realty is I'd love to see you go through this as well, Ken, and then maybe share your results on the episode following this one to see how you go about getting the contacts and the referrals and all that stuff.
Funny enough, I was just talking this at a high level with one of my team members, and we're saying, like this person didn't have a whole list of people to call. I'm like, no, you do. First of all, are they in the database? And they said, no, it's not. I'm like, okay, well, that's your first problem, right? You don't even know who to call. So we got to make sure they're in the database, and then we're going to do a giveaway. So it's the same idea, same concept. It's just actually systematizing it and doing it as a team. So
well,
yes, Donny,
this is a great incentive to get your stuff in the database, right? Like,
well, that's it. Yeah,
just to use this. And
instead of going out there prospecting out everything, hey, you want to buy, you want to sell, you want to buy, you want to sell. Like it seems like it's too salesy. This is a great way just to keep in touch because people are going to do business with the people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of using social media as your follow up, as your way to kind of spray it out there to attack a general population, I guess this is the way to do it because, for the most part, all the realtors, all the people that are following me, 90% of them are all realtors anyway. So like, you're not going to hit the people that you want to hit, and just because you put it on social media, it doesn't mean that, the algorithm will serve it up to them. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's okay.
When you market to them directly, like an email or a text, you are getting the audience you want to go to. You are going direct to consumer there.
Correct.
And so I think you're going to see amazing results, and you probably have a larger database than I do as well. Like I sent this out to, I think it was 500 people, and no, it was 400 people, 407 I think it was, and in the end I got 50 calls in. So I didn't get 100, but I got 50, and
so 10-15%. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Look. I set a goal. I couldn't control the outcome of that. I did what I needed to do to get the reminders and that kind of stuff. And some people just missed. It's okay. But I got what I needed. I got 4 touch points out of the ones who didn't even respond to the phone call request, which is, that's what we do. We touch. We're KW, 33 touch or 36 touch, whatever it is. That worked for me at least at that level. And I didn't have to give away anything to them or put them in a draw for that. So that's pretty cool. But the ones who did call, I got to have actual conversations with and see if I can offer anything of value in the discussion, advice or whatever. Because a lot of people came with baggage, with some questions, and they look at me as the person who's going to provide solutions. So that's an opportunity for me to shine, and it'll be the same thing for you. So how do I ask Ken to do this as well? Ken, do I got to offer you a dinner in exchange for your commitment to doing a reverse bowl 100 in the next, well, it's Christmas, but maybe in January. You
got to offer me season tickets I can give away to.
I don't know what season. If you need a game,
season opener.
Yeah, that's joking, you got it. October now.
Joking. Don't worry, we're doing it, man. We're doing it. We're doing it.
You can even do like a giveaway bowling, Ken. Like anything where people will just be excited about.
Hey, man, we're doing it.
Okay,
we're gonna do it.
So you heard that audience.
Great. Yeah. Anyway, that's a great first podcast. It's good to get started with everything. It's all about lead generation at the end of the day, and I think this is the way to do it. If you want to stay more, if you want to follow more, make sure you follow this podcast and share it with your friends. I think it's great for real estate agents. But with that, we're signing out.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Donny.
Hey, if you like the podcast, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a comment below. And if you want to learn more about our brokerage, visit whykw.ca. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one.